Fourscore. Fourscore. Ask not what you could do. Freak cunt. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Peanuts. No, not penis. Peanuts. What is Mr. Khrushchev? Tear down that wall. Hello, this is Robert F. Kennedy calling to share my casserole recipe. What am I doing? What's happening again? True story of Impaster. Impaster, I still have this thing. It's one of 3 things that I still own. And the other 2 are pieces of clothing. Just track down all of the music that I've ever made and make it exist somewhere. Because I couldn't release it as brand new Robert LaSalle's music recorded. It was a teenager. I was a teenager through 2004. How else to promote something that's like 20 years almost? It takes everything I have to fucking sit here and talk to a camera and tell you to do something that you don't really want to do, but maybe you do. I was recording stuff wherever I ended up. Mostly really weird places. Plugged in, recording in cars and stuff. Recorded on an SM58 microphone. $100 microphone. Because it's all I had. I couldn't release it because I was stuck in a deal. Impaster is just a name. It doesn't fucking mean anything. It's like an imposter of the past. Okay, really the imposter was probably the one stuck in the record deals trying to make pop music. That's the real imposter. There are songs that I wrote with only 5 strings on the guitar, and you hear the guitar tuned in totally weird ways because there were 5 strings and I couldn't get another string. And there's songs where the drum parts get ridiculous because I didn't have drumsticks, and I would whittle drumsticks out of like, for real. That's what we're talking about. 158 microphone on, like, you know, a 2-piece drum set, and I've whittled drumsticks to play along with it. So that's Impaster. That's what it all is. There's songs where I wanted some low-end bass part, but there wasn't a bass around, so it's me miking my I think Waterways is a song. There's no bass. It's I
found the beach off the beaten trail. I blew the wind through my sails. I wrote these words with the setting sun. The water's turning, and this is what I've done.
Real. By real, it's if there's a steel guitar in a song, it's because I was in Stillwater, Oklahoma, touring with a band who had a steel guitar player. We had 3 days off. And when those guys went to sleep, I wrote a song on the steel guitar and brought my thing in there and recorded it.
I rose and I drove straight into the river. Never once gone, 'cause something I couldn't give him.
So that's how it all is. If there's drums on it, on any track, it's just 'cause there were drums somewhere. And pianos is kind of fun. I used to sneak in. I was college aged, not in college, so I used to sneak into colleges wherever I was, universities. I'd walk in with that thing in like a briefcase, and I would just walk into a piano room and record a piano part. I remember recording the Lullaby down in Mobile, Alabama, and I would just sleep in my car, recording a lot in Louisville, across Florida into Georgia, and I would run out of money and work labor finder jobs, And and then I would have to drive back to Huntsville to do a recording session, and then I would have a gig. Well, in hindsight, those were fun times. So you hear a lot of acoustic sounding guitar parts, but the reason they're all electric is because you could plug the electric directly into the machine and record it that way. And I didn't have enough microphones to record acoustics. If you hear like organs, it was just because somebody had an organ. Wherever I was, there was an organ, so I would write and record with whatever I had. If there's horns, it's like, I would just blast horns. And I even played violin on some of these things, which I'm a terrible violin player. But I found out that if you basically, you can sound like a middle school orchestra if you just multi-track some really simple parts. So that's thinking of Hope to Meet You There. That's all me playing a violin that somebody just lent me for a day, I think, in Murfreesboro.
Some say we follow the motions. You and I laying in the sand. Bury the past, we bury the oceans together, you and I.
All the Impaster artwork, except for Fridge Buzzing, was done by Megan Kelly, and it's some of my favorite artwork on any of my releases. In 2019, I ran it all out of this machine and through a limiter plugin. I did a little hack job mastering on all of that stuff. Turned out I thought 70 something songs were good enough to be something, to at least exist somewhere. And I think they sound way better than I ever thought they would. Considering they were recorded in closets and basements and crap, I dated them to the date of completion, or the date they were recorded. So, the algorithms on Spotify and stuff, it just shelved it. It's just all just sitting there. But I want people to hear it, because I think that I think it's good. I just don't. Maybe it's not good enough to be next to my other stuff, but in a weird way, I kind of like it more than the stuff that was recorded in real studios. There's something, because it's real. It's like you can't. The only way to record on this, there's no editing really. I mean, there is sort of, but it's almost like an old tape. The way they recorded in the 70s. That you just press record and you go, and it's just really basic recording. What you hear is what you get. There's a lesson there, because there's no fucking right way to do anything. In hindsight, this is real. This was the real thing, and the other stuff was, sitting in a studio recording things over and over and over and making everything perfect. It's 10 a.m. and there's people eating celery and discussing the way the days, and it's so bland, and the lights are too bright, and that's your creativity. You're supposed to be creative, and you have an agenda for the day, and you have all these other people, and they got their own stupid shit, but if you like the clean, polished stuff, I've done plenty of that as well. There's a lot of stuff that I feel like has good quality sounds. Impaster is not that. Impaster is noisy, raw, and straight from the heart. And I hope you love it. Okay, bye-bye!